Welcome back to another video. My name is Natalie Ledwell, and today I'm going to help you to discover what's holding you back from moving forward and then how to eliminate these deep-rooted limiting beliefs once and for all. Let's get rid of those puppies. Now, if it's your first time here, make sure that you hit the subscribe button below here so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Now, this video is divided into two parts, and today will be especially helpful for you if you've been attempting to achieve certain goals in the past, but just don't seem to be able to get there. And it just seems like some invisible wall's up and you just can't figure out why you can't get over the finish line. Now, oftentimes, the invisible wall is a certain unconscious limiting belief that you may have, which is subconsciously sabotaging your efforts. So these mental blocks or these programs that we have usually come from really deep-seated limiting beliefs and programs that we pick up really when we're a kid. And predominantly in our childhood between the ages of, birth or 2 and 6 years old. Now, some examples of limiting beliefs include things like, rich people are bad, or, I'm not good enough. I'll never amount to anything. I don't deserve it. Money is the root of all evil. Are you familiar with any of those? Now, don't be too quick to write this off with self-talk or believing that you don't have a limiting belief, because most of the time we live with these completely unaware. We have all these thoughts that we have been thinking for 30, 40, 50 years, and because they feel so normal to us, we don't even realize that we have them. We're completely unaware of the existence, which exactly is what happened to me. So in January of 2008, the My Movies team, we were just launching the business and we were working with an NLP neuro-linguistic programmer trainer in Australia. Her name was Linda Dyer. And we were helping her create a program called the How To series. Now, the program consists of 6 different modules, 6 different, lessons. And then there was one that she was recording on how to eliminate limiting beliefs. And we were filming this with Linda, in her living room, and she was explaining to us how she leads her students through this specific process. And she wanted to do that on camera, and she wanted to do it for this lesson. And she said, look, Nat, would you be able to sit in and be the student? And I'll lead you through the process on camera so that, we can show people how this is done. And of course, I'm like, well, I don't think I have a limiting belief. I feel I'm a pretty confident person, pretty positive. I see the glass half full. And Glenn's operating the camera, so I was the one that had to go on camera. But she said, okay, look, fair enough. Maybe, you don't have one. She was just kind of, just saying, okay, whatever. She said, but why don't we just try it out? And she goes, I'll take you through the process. If nothing happens, then we'll try something else. I'm like, all right. So then we sit down and she's like, well, she goes, well, I think we should focus on money. I'm like, all right. I'm feel pretty good about money. This is all good. I was happy with my life. I was a confident person. I didn't think anything was holding me back. So when we sat down, we got comfortable, when I look back in retrospect, I'm pretty sure that she knew to choose this specific topic. But the thing is, I think that we all have programming around money, around our self-image, around our self-value. All right, well, let's just do money. I don't think I think negatively about it, but we could do that. But before I could even overthink the whole process, we started filming, and Linda is instructing me to sit down, relax, breathe, close my eyes. And then she leads me through a series of questions. And the outcome shocked me. So not only did she lead me through these questions, that when she was asking me when I got to the deepest part of the process, I was giving her answers that I had no idea where they come from. I experienced this full, total emotional release. I actually cried. And I had tears rolling down my face. Now, back then, I think Glenn had only ever seen me cry twice in the 10 years that we'd been married by that stage, so he was a little shocked himself. But the process was so amazing, and actually the feeling of relief was palpable. I mean, I had no idea that I was actually holding myself back financially. I thought I was happy with my current financial situation, and I told myself, I don't need any more money. That would be greedy to want more, I've got plenty. Hello, Nat. I mean, there's a limiting belief right there. Now, it is remarkably easy to settle with what you perceive as the best that you can be. But in reality, when you release these limiting beliefs, when you become aware of them and get rid of them, you can realize a far greater potential for yourself. Now, 7 months after filming that video with Linda, and the thing is, even when I look back on this, I'm like, wait a minute, I grew up in a family of 8 kids and from a country town, and money was always pretty tight. Like, how could I not be affected by that situation? How could I not have certain, programs and beliefs around that? It feels silly looking back on it now, but that's kind of what happened. But, we did that with Linda in February of 2008. Then in April of 2008, we came to the US. And then September 2008, when the economic crisis hit the planet, that's when we launched My Movies to the world. And we orchestrated the huge launch of My Movies. We did a $700,000 week in a economic climate where everyone was losing their houses and losing their jobs. And we had the most successful week of our lives. Now, the limiting belief that I was completely unaware of is absolutely gone. And I haven't entertained anything but positively outrageous thoughts about money since then. So, how do we accumulate limiting beliefs? Well, they stem from our previous experiences, and specifically our childhood experiences. Now, between the ages of 2 and 6, our brains are predominantly in theta brainwave activity. So in other words, we're very impressionable. We're like little sponges. So we soak in everything, how to act, how to respond, how to think, and all of this information that we absorb from our families, our parents, siblings, grandparents, caregivers, teachers, TV shows, music, everything. All of this just goes into our subconscious mind without a filter. And it's our 4-year-old's version or our 5-year-old's version of that event that then gets programmed in as our beliefs. This is the basis of our internal programming. And that means that if your mum told you that looks aren't everything, you could have issues with self-confidence. If your dad said something like, money doesn't grow on trees or rich people are gribbledals, then you may have some issues around money. And if you were told by other kids that you were fat, then you could have issues with your body image. And if you're told you were stupid or that you'll never amount to anything, you probably think on some level that you are stupid. And even though consciously you may not think that, subconsciously that program is running in the background and it taints everything that you see moving forward. Now, sometimes a limiting belief originates from a minor event, such as your mother bringing home a gift for your sister and not for you, or your father taking your brother on an adventure and leaving you at home. Now, the infant you may have interpreted that situation as that you weren't good enough or that you weren't loved. But now that subconscious belief influences all of your decisions and all of your behaviors. Now, most of us are completely unaware that these deep-seated imprints even exist, much less influence our decisions every single day. Now, during my process with Linda, I remember going to school and feeling different to the other kids because they wore better clothes than I had. They had better bags than I did. And I thought, I think they thought they were better than me because in my mind, they had more money. Now, like I was saying before, I grew up in a family of 8 kids and just about everyone at our school had better things and more money than we did. So I decided 2 things from that childhood perception. Number 1, that I didn't like the kids that made me feel bad. That meant that having money was a bad thing. And that was a belief I adopted when I was 5 years old. And number 2, I never wanted to make other people feel bad. Now, I took on those perceptions at the age of 5. So can you believe that 45 years later, or 35 years later at that time, that 5-year-old still heavily influenced my life. And those beliefs remained rooted in my subconscious mind until I was able to release them. The mind then they actually get filed into a thing called the gestalt. And the mind then refers back to this file every time you form an opinion, make a decision, take an action, or in some cases inaction in relation to that belief. You think, that's right, I can't be wealthy because rich people are crooks. Or, that's right, I can't do anything about that because I'm stupid. Or, that's right, I can't be fit and healthy because I've always been fat. Now, each time you come across a particular situation that's related to that, you refer back to the file, and then because you're perceiving that situation through that lens, you just add that to the file and you strengthen the belief that you took on when you were an infant. So you go, see, I knew I couldn't do it. I knew I wasn't smart enough. I knew I wasn't strong enough. Your belief strengthens unconsciously. So how do you know if you have a limiting belief? Well, do you have a pulse? We all have programming from our past. But do you entertain any of these thoughts? Things like money is bad. Money's not spiritual. My personal favorite. Money's not spiritual. Money's the root of all evil. I don't deserve money. Rich people are greedy. Rich people are damned to hell. I'm not good enough. And what about these thoughts about your health? Diets don't work. I hate exercise. Healthy food tastes gross. I inherited fat genes, so I'm destined to be overweight. So are you entertaining any of those thoughts? What about relationships? If you're looking to create a relationship in your life, are you thinking things like, I'm not rich enough, I'm not pretty enough, the opposite sex has never liked me, I don't deserve to be happy, I'm not good enough, I'm destined to be single. Now, if you have any of these beliefs, now remember, it's not your fault. Now, next Wednesday, I'm going to show you the 6 questions that you need to ask yourself to really change these beliefs, and I'm going to give you a powerful visualization exercise to overcome them. Now, before you go, and if you'd like to know what your number 1 limiting belief is, then go to the link in the description below where you'll find my 30-second quiz. Now, this quiz is free and it will tell you exactly what's holding you back from success, and it'll also give you a customized report with instructions on what you have to do next to be able to release it. Now, I'd love to know if you found this video helpful, and if there's any other topic that you'd like for me to cover next time, just leave the comments below. Again, my name is Natalie Ledwell. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.